Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle and the channel's called Kyle by the Creek. We're going to scoop up a $150 Craftsman tractor. Supposedly the thing's a runner. There's really nothing wrong with it. The only reason she's getting rid of the tractor is because they're moving. So I'm sure there's going to be some untold issues with this thing. Let's take a close look at what we have and we'll start working on it. Just backing up the truck now. Guy was nice enough to start it up and even drove it up my trailer for me. Yeah, I'll give you guys a closer look in just a minute here. Yeah, just a quick look at it. It's got some stickers on it. Smells like leaking oil. Sounds like needs a muffler. She's been painted on. Wonder if this was like a green John Deere engine or engine cover before. Oh yeah, leaking oil bad. But yeah, it's got the bagger. It's got an okay seat. Everything else seems okay. It's gear drive, 6-speed gear drive. Tires look okay. It was kept in a garage. I love garage tractors. All right, let's get it home. All right, we got it home with the truck. Let's get this thing unloaded. A few days later here, and we're in the shed. To make some room, I think I'm going to take off the bagger system here, and then I'm going to check for oil leaks first. And I also want to see if this thing is charging the battery or if my voltage meter thing on the dash is broken. So I think those are our first steps here. Yeah, so check out right underneath the valve cover. Yeah, I can see actually fresh oil dripping right from the valve cover. So that's actually a good sign, I guess. If it's going to leak anywhere easy, that would be the easiest spot. So maybe we'll hoist this up a little bit and address that leaky valve cover first. It's easiest for me to back the tractor out and then back it in and hoist up the front end to do stuff like this. So yeah, that thing was barely on. Okay, yeah, there's no There's no gasket at all left. So it almost seems like there was a gasket. I don't know why it's all, you know, I just wonder if they used the wrong product or something, because it almost seems rusty, but I don't think it's rusty. That doesn't make sense to be rusty. But I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to see if I have an actual valve cover gasket for this. Alright, we're back after cleaning things up, and I do have a gasket. So get this installed quickly here. So the more I was looking at it, you know, I could tell someone put in this little oil drip shield. They must have been dealing with this problem for a long time. But yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, like that. Not with this gross thing. Yeah, but what a weird solution, right? Valve cover's leaking so bad, you make this custom thing just to keep the oil off the muffler. Well, it runs great, and there's no more oil dripping, and it does charge the battery, 14.5 volts. So our amperage gauge is broken, so I'm gonna see if I can find one in my stash. All right, you guys are gonna love this. So yeah, this bin that's out here has a whole bunch of stuff in it. But yeah, this is what we want. I believe that will fit in there. See? It's good to keep junk. I just broke it trying to pull it out. Well, I wasn't trying to pull, I was actually just trying to disconnect the wires here, and the thing just shattered on me. So, yeah, okay. Continues to break. Let's hope this one doesn't break going in. Nope. Okay, let's see if that works. Yep, perfect. I don't know if you could see that. I'll give you another shot at it. Sitting at 0, start it up. Awesome. I don't think we're going to see much inside this carb. It's obviously running the thing decently, but it kind of has a really rough sound in the beginning, and again, I'm not sure it's the muffler. I know I mentioned that early on. It doesn't look great in there. This is just going to get a quick surface level cleaning. Yeah, we're going to call that done. So far in this video, we've done a lot of work while time lapse is going on, but I want to see if I can do this carburetor install in real time with you guys, just so you could see that, you know, this really does not take that much time to do. And if you're ever wondering like, oh, should I really take off my carburetor and clean it? Yeah, I think you should. It's pretty easy to do. I always do my choke last. It just seems easiest to get the choke linkage in after the throttle and the spring. And just a little point of interest, because this says 19.5 and it really looks like a John Deere shroud. The previous owner even like cut off the sticker here. You can see all this green here, but that's underneath the sticker. They cut that off because it probably said John Deere right there, and then they painted it black. I mean, this is obviously a long time ago. It's not like he did this to fool me or something. But so what's supposed to be on here? An 18.5 Briggs Intech Plus, and from what I can tell looking up the model number on the engine, it's a 31P777, and that is typically an 18.5. So I think this is actually the original engine, and just the shroud has been swapped out. You know, sometimes weird things happen. And yeah, I can even see there's like some glue. Maybe this dipstick tube got messed up. Yeah, it did. I might replace that then. But yeah, maybe they had some damage, mice damage, or maybe they just ripped it off. Sometimes people have a lot of trouble taking these things off. We've seen that before, right? So yeah, I think we have the original engine on here. I just think we have a different shroud. There doesn't seem to be anything that would say that this model engine would be a 19.5. It did say that it was possible. AI at least said that it was possible it could be a 19 horsepower, but not 19.5. So anyway, I don't think we have an engine swap. There's no indication of an engine swap. Everything looks stock on here. There's no cut wires. Everything looks legitimate. So I guess that's good. You know, trying to resell mowers that have an engine swap always makes it a little tricky, but we do have to explain that it has a different engine cover. Well, I just filmed the installation of this new dipstick tube, and it just didn't capture, but this is the old one. It had glue covering this hole, and the way this damage occurs is if you put the engine shroud on incorrectly, you could get this plastic rubbing on the fan when the engine is running, and that wears a hole. A lot of times you hear it and you stop the engine right away because it's pretty loud, but clearly they let it run a little bit and they glued it. But that could have been affecting the vacuum pulse that you get from the crankcase via this tube, and that is used for your fuel pump. And so there could have been some fuel delivery problems here. Definitely would have been a problem in the future if that glue let loose. But we have a new one in, so we're all set there. But I noticed something else on the coil. This is like barely hanging on here. This was covering it. Just someone was in here doing some stuff. But I think we're gonna swap out that coil. Okay, we have a used coil Looks to be in good condition. So we're going to install it. That's a little piece of the plastic dipstick tube. So, or either that or a fin from the fan. No, I think it's from the old dipstick tube. All right, we're going to use double-sided painter's tape so the sticky sides are together. Let me get this started first. And that just helps to set the gap. Just bring the magnet by. So now we're getting the magnet attraction through the painter's tape. Just secure that down. Not too tight. Plug in the boot, spin the engine, let's get that out. Kind of destroyed it, didn't we? Oh, we really destroyed it. All right, there we go. Off camera, I swapped out this really old fuel filter, which was sitting here where I put in a shutoff. So I put the shutoff here and the filter here, which I think is a better location, and always good for like winterizing your machines to shut off the fuel and try to run your carburetor dry. That's like the bare minimum. I know a lot of people have other ways that they winterize their stuff, but even like for letting it sit for a couple weeks, I do like to shut off the fuel. But yeah, this is serviced now as far as the fuel goes. But let's finally fire it up. Let's see if this thing runs better. And I was looking at the footage that I filmed so far. I never showed you guys me checking the oil, but it does have plenty of oil. So don't worry about that. I checked that off camera. All right, we're gonna need a jump, but I don't know if you can tell that filled up. Wow, it's backfiring through the carb right now, so that's not a good sign. Oh, we got about 8 inches of snow. That's pretty nice for Connecticut. I was riding the snowmobiles around. Just enough snow to do that. But I'm back in the shed here, and I took the carburetor off. What I found in the bowl was definitely some junky fuel, and I had just cleaned this thing. I mean, a real quick cleaning, but it wasn't running right, so I think I'm gonna drain this gas, and there's a lot of gas in there. I want to see what comes out of there, so I'm gonna get my fuel pump. I usually keep it there. Where is it? Oh, it's out back. I have my little electronic fuel transfer pump, and I'm gonna suck all the gas out of that. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so here's the transfer pump. It's battery powered. It can be USB powered too. Just gonna transfer things into an empty gas can for now. Turn it on. Fuel is flowing. It's down to the bottom pretty well, but not perfectly. And there's always a lot of fuel in the hose, so if you hold it upside down and press the lever on the handle, yeah, I mean, we got, it's at least a gallon. Might be, yeah, probably a gallon. It doesn't look bad down there. Still a little bit of gas. I'll show you what came out though. Let's actually pour some out. Oh, it doesn't look terrible. There's not much for floaties in there. And there's no water, but I suppose that was worth doing. And since I'm this far into the carb, I'm going to replace the gasket here. I have a bunch of these, and although this one looks pretty good, you know, they're almost unusable once you take the carb apart. Almost. Sometimes you get lucky, but yeah, it's a little deformed, so let's replace it. I was just starting to think about cosmetics here, and I popped this off. You know, of course it's green, and you can see all this glue. And it's the same glue that was used on the dipstick tube, the oil fill tube. Yeah, so I'll probably end up doing the same thing this guy did, which was take this off and paint it black. Unless I can find, yeah, I don't know. It's easy enough to just paint that black, honestly. It's not that bad. Well, I still don't like the way it's running. I think I'm going to do a valve adjustment on it and see if that makes any improvement. Place right now. The idle is really bad. God, listen to this idle. That's really rough. Okay, so it's a bit of a head scratcher. Valves are done correctly. Carb has been cleaned twice. Fuel system is cleaned out. I'm still gonna guess right now that it's carburetor related. The only other thing I would try is a head gasket. I mean, it kind of sounds like an air leak a little bit, but I'm just thinking this carburetor is not running it correctly. So I have other carburetors, so I think we'll do some swapping right now. So here's a different carburetor. Backfiring like crazy. Yeah, something's wrong here. Well, I tried another carburetor off camera and that didn't work. Well, that carburetor was flooding like crazy, so it was never going to work. But I have the shroud off again, and I think we're just going to see what the head gasket looks like. I think in the process that will allow me to do the valves over again and just sort of inspect this engine some more. I might look into timing now that I have a lot of things apart too. And timing could very well be the issue. So we're just going to give this thing a really thorough look over and see if we can find anything wrong with it. Timing is good. No problem there. Okay, we have the head almost all the way off here. I have not peeked. You're looking with me. Maybe. I don't know, didn't look blown. It's no good now, but yeah, I don't think that was blown at all. All the surfaces are cleaned up here. I ordered parts, so we'll wait a day or two and hopefully we'll have a new head gasket here. It's the next day and the parts arrived, and I'm going to put in this new head gasket. I actually ordered a new carburetor too, just to try everything we can. Comes with a spark plug, air filter. You know, we're just going to put in everything. I'm going to do everything reasonably I can to make this thing run correctly. Let's hope all of these parts solve our problem here. Well, whoops, I think that time lapse missed me putting on the carburetor, but the new carburetor is on as well. Head gasket, spark plug, recheck the valves. We still have oil. Let's turn on the gas, see how this thing runs. Let our battery jumper go again. All right. Give it a second here. Come on. I don't know. I don't get it. Well, it's the next morning. Let's run a quick compression test. Yeah, it's saying about 65, maybe 60. I don't know. Okay, I just adjusted the valves like a crazy person just to see. And yeah, now we're sitting at like 130, 135. So that's a little closer. 60 was no good. I'm going to back this off a little bit so the valves aren't closing quite that hard. But yeah, hopefully we can get some compression out of this. All right, about the same, 128. But it seems to be, the starter seems to be handling it. So yeah, I'm going to put the valve cover on, put the spark plug back in. See if we can get this thing to finally fire off. I mean, this is what's so frustrating about this is like you get the machine, it's worth $150 because it's running, then you work on it and it's worse. I mean, as it sits right now, it's lost value and all I've done is work on it. This, I don't know, sometimes this can be very frustrating. So it'd be nice to get like an easy project that just sort of works. Haven't been lucky in a while, it seems. Okay, let's hear this thing run. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I don't get it. I mean, it's really acting like timing is off. It ran before. You do a head gasket and put a new carb on and it doesn't run anymore. I might be going back to other carburetors. I have no idea. Okay, I just got it to run. I replaced the coil with another old coil. And now it's firing off, but it runs like garbage. Let's get our battery jumper to turn on here. Well, at least it runs. I've been adjusting the carb too, and it's not really making a difference. It runs like 75% good at full throttle, and idle is just awful. Yeah, so it's backfiring, it's surging. We got a lot of issues. Okay guys, I figured it out. And the solution was a Walbro carb. I put one on and it ran it really well on full choke, and so I dug around in my parts for another Walbro carb. I cleaned it out and it's finally running right. Battery, okay. Come on. A good idle. back and reviewed the footage, and it sounded a lot more ticky, like you could hear those valves on the video than it did in real life. So I went ahead and went back in there in the valves and tightened them up, and I'm much happier with it now. So listen. Ooh, that idle's a little low now. Okay, I'll adjust that idle, but yeah, no more ticking. Okay, we're underneath the machine again, and this time we're just going to take off the blades. I don't think I need to do much to this deck in general. In the spring, I'll probably just power wash it. I don't even think I'll paint it. But everything looks so good. I think I'm just going to sharpen the blades now. And the blades have plenty of life. Deck is clean. It's not rotted out at all. Not even close. Pretty solid mowing deck. Well, let's finally get this thing out of the shed. I actually got it down here by the creek, parked it right behind the last project, the rescue, and the one before that. Yeah, we're getting loaded up down here. But she'll sit here for, I don't know, 2 months probably before I work on it again. Yeah, and she's gonna need a lot of work in the spring too. This thing is about as dirty as it gets, so it's gonna need a power washing of a lifetime. And it still needs some things to be serviced. I might even consider painting the mowing deck, but yeah, mostly it really needs to be cleaned. Hopefully you guys appreciate all the work that went into this machine. I know some of it was sort of finicky stuff, like just trying to get it to run perfectly, but to me that's really important. I really do want to spend a long time working on the engines on the lawnmowers that I have. As much as I love doing the cosmetic work, there's really no point unless the engine runs perfectly. So we got rid of all the leaks. We ended up putting a head gasket on it, which it probably didn't need. It was a carb issue all along. It just, that Nicky carb just wasn't running it right, and maybe some sort of other combination might have fixed it, but for whatever reason, and this happens a lot, you put on a different carburetor, in this case a Walbro, and it ran it near perfect. Just needed a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm really happy with the way this thing's running. So yeah, full service, air filter, fuel filter. It's got an oil change, spark plug, head gasket, valve adjustment, clean the gas tank. You know, this thing really got worked on. So I'm pretty confident in it. And of course, we'll take it out in the spring and we'll make sure it's really good to go before we end up selling it to anybody. And I'm sure this thing will clean up really nice. And I'd love to show you guys all that. I just, you know, I don't know. Do you really want to wait 2 months for that video to come out, or is it better to just skip the cleaning part and give you guys a repair video? To me, I think this is the best way to do it for the winter videos, is to just get something out, even though it's not complete. It is complete, it's just, it's not absolutely perfect and like ready for sale, which is usually how I like to end my videos. I even love when someone buys it at the very end of the video. In the winter, this is what we're getting. So hey, I want to thank you guys for watching all my videos. The last video I put out hit 10,000 views really quickly. Thanks a lot. I didn't expect that out of a wintertime drop, so maybe this one will do well too. There seemed to be also a little bit of interest in my second channel, which is called Kyle by the Lake. On that channel, it's all of the content related to the about 60 acres that my brothers and a friend own up in the Adirondacks of New York, and snowmobiling and mowing the field and setting up little micro cabins and outhouses and stuff like that. So if you like that sort of thing, you could check out Kyle by the Lake. I would appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a happy new year. See you next time.